Hey everyone, welcome to Little Witch Academia episode 4. It takes place with Lot kind of taking center stage of the episode, which is kind of interesting to seeing her do a little bit more this week, on episode 4 anyway. And kind of the subject of this episode, we're doing something a little different instead of giving you the play-by-play of the episode, because I assume you watched the episode, so there's no sense in covering over everything that happened, because, yeah. I think the idea of fandom is the main subject of episode 4, which is like an interesting subject. Because I think it's safe to say we're all fans of something, be it a book series, comic books, movies, TV shows, animes, video games, or, I think you can apply it to music too, as well, being a fan of, a band or a singer or whatever you want to call it. But, yeah, so this episode was about kind of fandom and how good fans can support their favorite creator, and you have the opposite, the fans that are more critical of those people that, aren't really afraid to say, something their favorite creator made is awful, terrible, or maybe just generally bashing people that are fans of other things, other kind of fandoms. That happens a lot too. But, yeah, so this episode kind of focuses a little bit on that, and, which jumps to Lot, who is, again, the main focus of the episode. We do learn a little about her character this week, and this episode kind of takes it with her again a step further as far as fandom goes, because I guess we revealed that she's a fan of a book series called Nightfall, which is, I guess, Little Witch Academia's version of Twilight, even down to like vampires, werewolves, and other things that pop up in those books or movies, if you've seen them or not. But yeah, so Lot is a huge fan of that book series, and that's kind of what this episode's kind of for about. It's all about her meeting the creator of this book series she likes. But before she can do that, she has to kind of be stuck with Susie and Akko cleaning, because at the beginning of the episode, Akko kind of stole some food. I guess she's been stealing food from the cafeteria. She's not supposed to. And that kind of landed all of them in hot water. Well, Akko mostly, but Susie and Lot always with her, so automatically they're kind of roped into this scenario with her. And in the meantime, Lot's a little shaken up, a little sad, because there's also a Nightfall convention happening in the town, and she really wanted to go see it, but due to being punished because Akko and whatever happened with that, she is gonna miss out. So they're worried. She's worried about that. And Akko and everyone else is kind of confused. Like, it's just a book series, though. Like, what's so big deal about it? But we learn a little bit. Akko kind of cries a lot about it, and Lot kind of opens up saying that as a young kid, she was made fun of for being a witch. She wasn't very athletic. She didn't have very many friends, and therefore she was made fun of because she was the loser or whatever, different than everyone else. So I guess she found Nightfall as a young kid, and to her it was an escape from that reality. I think everyone can kind of relate to that in some sort of way. We all have a kind of an escape from the bad things that happen in real life. I mean, for me, school in general was like that. I didn't really have a lot of friends. I wasn't athletic. Wasn't in any clubs. I couldn't do anything like that. So for me, finding not comic books, manga, anime, and drawing was like my three ways of escaping. The hard times in school. Being bullied, being picked on because I was different. But I think everyone can kind of relate again to Lot's situation where, especially if you're not into anything and you kind of are kind of into these, I guess, nerdy stuff like books or video games or anime or whatever you want to use as replacement, and that you're outcast because you're like this sort of thing. So I think that's what Lots kind of dealt with when she was a kid. So yeah, I think we all can relate to that. you know. But anyway, go back to the convention news. But we get to Lot kind of gets to go. They finally find a way they can escape the school and sneak to this convention. And Lot enters this trivia contest all about Nightfall, and she wins because she's a huge fan, I guess. But she also gets to meet Annabelle, who's the writer of these books, and she kind of learns a little bit of a truth behind it, that Annabelle's not the original writer. It's a series of writers that throughout the years have been picked to write Nightfall based off inheriting this magical pen. So, Yeah, so Lot wins this trivia contest and gets the pin and is elected the next writer of Nightfall, but Lot's kind of confused and kind of not really excited about this because she never wanted to become Annabelle, or she didn't want to write Nightfall. She just wanted to be a fan, and that's all she wanted, And Annabelle, is kind of down on her luck and doesn't want to do it anymore because, back to the subject of fandom, she was, what, getting all these messages and comments on whatever social media they have in this world. But she was being, made fun of or mocked because she wasn't very good a writer. Her story was bad and all this stuff, and kind of reflects today's time where you have access to Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube and other ways to meet or comment towards these creators of our favorite things. There's a good majority of people that can praise a creator, that you're doing good and all this stuff, and there's a big majority that can bash a creator. Again, with the access to Twitter, you can send messages to these people, and a lot of times people are just like, oh, they're not going to see that message, or they're too busy, they're famous, they don't need to worry about me. But they don't realize that some people, messages do get through to some people, and they do read some of those, and they do come off as hurtful, hateful. And Annabelle feels that too, being we clearly see her on her Twitter feed that she's being made fun of. Bill says she sucks. So it's like she gets discouraged and gets a little depressed and gets to the point where she doesn't want to write anymore. And that, to me, I think is kind of sad to see that with Annabelle. But with a lot, she kind of inspires Annabelle to take the pen back and to be, take over the writing job still, or continue writing, because the Nightfall series means a lot to all these girls in Little Witch, their series. So yeah, it just shows you that the reflection from their world to our world, that it's very similar. How we treat our favorite creators, even though again the nasty comments are usually what stick out more, I think, towards those people than getting the positive ones. That another time, at the end, a lot kind of reveals that she would be spoiled if she was writing the series, because she would know where things were going and how things were going to end. So she felt that it would be kind of the bad thing if she took over as a writer, because she wants to stay a fan and support the fan, or just stay as a fan and support the creator. Sorry, she doesn't want to take over, and kind of like Akko. Akko wants to be like Shiny Chariot, and all her magical whatever. But Lot on the other side doesn't want to become the writer for Nightfall. She just wants to stay a fan of that. So because she has her own dreams and goals to make. And extra stuff in the episode: Diana's two followers, we finally get their names. One's Hanna, one's Barbera, which I'm assuming is a reference to Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Obviously, maybe that's kind of inspiration for some of these characters, or maybe how animation inspired them to get into to this job for the Trigger animators. So we don't know. The Clock Tower cosplayer was Professor Badcock, the one that kind of got mad at Akko and all them for stealing food. And it shows you that the difference in ages, who likes Nightfall. People like Lot like it, and then you get people that are quite in the older generation that like it too. And so yeah, it's kind of funny seeing that. And having Lot as the focus was nice, because for a long time she didn't really get to do a lot in the two OVAs. She was kind of this quiet background character that didn't do anything. But this episode showed that she has another side to her. I mean, even though it was her favorite book series, that's what got her, going. But still, it was fun seeing a different side of Lot for that episode. And it just shows you that she's not a quiet girl. She's very outgoing when the subject has changed to her favorite thing. But yeah, that was episode 4. I'll see you guys episode 5.